could be the next step in authentication. There are different opinions. What is the best, smart cards or biometric scanners, or the good old passport? No opinions?
I think that's the wrong question.
Yeah?
Because in authentication, we have two different main applications. We are talking on one side about government authentication and identification. Government identification programs are typically based on passports, and we see already a new market for digital passports. Biometrics play since 9/11 a major role in this market, but this market is completely different compared to the typical IT authentication market. In the IT authentication market, we are not dealing with passports typically. There might be a need for some web and cloud service providers to get identity assurance. And that's definitely a trend we see in the identity market, in the IT identity market, that identity assurance, for instance, for e-commerce companies, plays already today a major role and will play a much bigger role in the future, because identity in the IT environment is not comparable with identity in the typical government environment. We are talking about different, completely different aspects and technologies.
Okay, but here in the room are also a common user. What are your opinion? How many accounts do you have? What do you think? 20? Do you think how many accounts you have?
I think I have to handle something like 30 to 40 passwords, which is, of course, in itself a pretty nasty security issue, because I have to get them somewhere memorized where they can be stolen, actually. And it has to be some kind of central hub, else I can't access them directly. So I think this is one of really a big task, to organize that in a way that it is secure, it is unique, and it's user-friendly, which usually is completely diametric.
Yeah. Even to remember, it's a problem. You need passwords which are complicated, but you keep them secure without writing down. Yeah, that's our idea. I can say actually we have 72 accounts which we are using almost every day, and the crucial things are logins for a special software like software certificates. Yeah, you only need once a year, and you have to, and you need only once a year, and you can't remember, and you lost the day only for looking for this password.
If I may suggest, we can send the site, the URL, to everybody here in the room, and we can all try your. I would like to move on because we have so many companies and so little time. Robert.
Thank you very much. I would raise a bit the topic of software versus hardware here. I noticed that most of the presenting companies were software companies. So this is very dominant topic now in the security industry. But it's quite interesting. Why are there so few hardware startups? Well, so few startups trying out new ways of sensing things, of organizing hardware solutions. Is there just some interest? Is there more interest in from the venture capital side or from the corporation side in software project or in hardware projects?
The reason is simple, because cost of introducing a product in software is costs you much less money than developing a neutral detector. That's the only reason.
You don't have to store it.
That's the only way.
You don't have to deliver, to store it.
I mean, if you are a startup, small company, or you want to go into a security solution, if you can do it by software, then two smart engineers in the garage can do something which otherwise, if you do it in hardware, you need $500,000 or $1 million to do.
Low entry
And
barrier.
the entry barrier is much lower. That's it.
And there's another major trend, cloud computing, which has a strong impact. We are not selling software anymore. We are selling services. It's a complete transformation of the business processes. And if I sell a service, I have no delivery problem. Software in the classical form must be delivered by sending out DVDs or other storage devices. Today, we are selling a service, and that's the new trend I see since maybe 2 years. And this has definitely also in the security space a strong impact on products and on developments.
It's also the profile of professionals. I had, for instance, 500 R&D people, okay? 1970, about 6% were programmers. 1990, it was about 45-50% programmers. I mean, the population of the young people moves. I mean, they don't know what a transistor is anymore. They have no idea how flip-flop functions. That's it. So we got the software solutions.
Yeah, but the point is that software runs on hardware. You cannot have software completely disconnected from any kind of sensing solution. So exactly, you just buy what's already there. So software is in. I would provoke a bit that software can be copied very easily. Software has a lot less potential in intellectual property because it's really difficult to patent it compared to a real technological solution where you fix some hardware together. And therefore, you will always have much more trouble with competition in software. You will have much less strong standing compared to if you have a hardware solution. I agree, it takes a bit longer to get a hardware solution into market, but there it will last longer.
But in some fields of hardware engineering, like RF engineering, other fields, you don't have any professionals anymore. You know, I did nuclear electronics years ago, okay? And I sat with a friend of mine a year ago. We found out that we remain in the whole world about 20 guys who know nuclear electronics. Something he would need, okay? You can't find them.
So it's the more valuable if you find somebody who actually can do
In fact,
hardware.
we just had a panel with 4 hardware companies.
Are there any more hardware solutions? Only a few sentences. Don't be afraid or don't be worried to have a hardware solution. I think if I'm an investor, I could mention more to invest in a hardware solution and a software solution. The service is gone. You can. That's a virtual thing you don't need if you.
One second.
I would like to direct this discussion to a more practical channel, and I would like you to tell us about your first major sale, if you had sales. Sure.
Pretty well. If I can just, before we get to your question, and it's about we're all working in the security industry, and we're all trying to address international markets. Does anybody have any experience on getting international security clearances? So not just in the country where you were born and raised, but abroad in other countries. Does anyone have experience here, and can anyone share any advice in this direction?
I can tell you, you will never get the security clearance in the USA. No way. You are from Switzerland, forget it.
Yeah, in our case, Avalon Biometrics is a Spanish company, and we have 0 revenue from Spain. so we have a lot of experience in foreign markets. But the reason is closely to the USA, because in Spain there are big companies that came from public like Indra, like Telven, that get all the business there in this industry. So we get some pilot in USA, but with USA companies. In the last chat, you talk about the proper partners and the political influence. In my opinion, you have to win for sure, but win with no political contacts, you will not get the contract, even your technology is better if the price is low. So the proper partner in the country is very, very important. I don't want to say the most, because you have to be there to reach the goal, but it's very important. And about the hardware, I have also another comment, because we are not interested in hardware until we have received some interest from the very doc that we show to check the authenticity of checks, payment thing. In Spain we don't use it, but they are asking in Brazil and also in Mexico. So now we have contact, and a German friend of the CEO of my company that is in China producing things. He was closing the factory, and now he's looking for creating this scanner for checks for these markets, but he was already closing the company 6 months ago.
Can you talk about an important sale, lessons that you learned in selling?
Any potential one? Yeah, this summer we stay in IT. We're trying to sell a complex system with passport issuing, AFIS, and also border control. We are just a part of the consortium with a Brazilian company, the Prime, is valid, former American banknote, and we have to provide the AFIS is from NEC, this is a worldwide known brand, and the documents and passport technology from valid is AB Note. So you have to show that you are the top of the technology, but with no deconnections inside, we will not be reside and we will not be in this business. So it's a bit the same situation. So for us, we are a very small company. We always go with big companies, like a part of consortiums or subcontractors. So we have to carry the backpack, make the work, and not get the margin. So let's see, maybe one day we can be prime in a small contracts.
I could tell you a little bit about our first big sale. That was the airport of Vienna. It was actually almost our first sale ever. It was back in 2008. And back then we were testing our system. Like what we saw today is only a part of it. Our main focus is a security system based on video surveillance, like automatic detection of intruders and so on, and protection of border security, all these things. And back then we were testing our system with the police at the airport and just try to see how it works. And back then the big contract was given to one company to do all the video surveillance or CCTV for the new terminal, which was a big contract. And part of the contract was the automatic analysis of the Schengen, non-Schengen area to basically control this border to the Schengen area automatically with video. And this company went with a very big electronic company that's worldwide present. And very soon when they started to put up the system, they found out the system doesn't work. It just didn't work from this company. So this future partner company of ours went to us and said, okay, you're doing something similar. Do you want to try it out there? And the airport made a 3 months test where it compared the results of both systems, like true positives, false positives, how many false alerts, and so on. And it turned out that we were so much better, that we had almost no false alerts, and the performance was also so much better, that they kicked out this very big company out of the consortium, and the airport changed the product and took us in. And we even charged 3 times the price we would charge today. And they paid it, and so we came to the first big project or sale from ours. And this process was repeated 2 or 3 times in recent years, also with other airports. So we found you don't necessarily have to have the political connections for such a project, but you just have to be the best. And it worked until now.
In the beginning, we developed everything for medical imaging companies, and our main purpose was to enable medical imaging companies, big medical imaging companies, to switch their cameras within the time domain with the new technologies. But it came up to be the medical imaging culture in Turkey, and the companies in Turkey were a little bit weak, and military companies were more important. So we switched the idea and we added one more issue which we knew very good from medical imaging. That's fusion. Because there are lots of sensors in the system and they have to be fused on real time to come up with a good operation. So we focused more on camera fusion, fusing thermal camera, different kind of electro-optic cameras on the market, cross-compatibility issues, laser rangefinder adding, different kind of all sensors were added to the system within the software framework. Then regularly we found out that someone was looking for similar solutions, but they were all asking for the IP of the system. So we told them, okay, we can do whatever they want, but without letting the IP to them. They didn't accept. It took us something like 1 year to study with several companies. In the end, they gave up, and one signed the contract because they were out of the budget and the schedule. And they quickly prepared the solution using our framework. We entered the market like it. I mean, Rami from aeronautics, he told that they are small children still. We try to behave in the same passion. We are 20 guys in the company, but we still do not focus on any project, and we don't go to end users. And the sale comes afterwards, because if you have the ability and the passion, when they see it, they come to you. And even the end users, which we claim that we don't go, we go there via our business development directors, and we show them our capabilities. When they go for a tender, they ask from the integrator our solutions, so the integrators directly comes to us.
Okay, yes. A comment on the what you call the first sale. Maybe just remarking one thing. We always start selling our products in Spain, small country, but we develop the product with our customers. I think that's typical for all the startups in technology. So we like to have them very closely so we can develop with them. It might be a problem for them because they have to deal with very green products at the beginning. So I believe that the first one that was in forensic laboratories for the Spanish police, it took like a few years until we developed something that was workable in the year 2000, even before the company was separated from the university. And then the first time we did the database was also with the Spanish police, with a different organization. The first time we did the biometric speaker spotting, which is for intelligence, is also with the Spanish Minister of Defense. So we always have been able to sell it there. And today we sell less than 1% of our revenues in Spain. So why? Because actually there's more market outside Spain. Sales are bigger outside Spain. But you never forget your first customer, and you want to keep a very good relationship with them, and we keep improving our products sometimes with them.
If you are running a small company, then you have to think about how do you market your product. As you said, most companies are starting their developments without clients. But independent if you have already a client or not, as soon as you want to grow with a product, you need to think about how to market it. And it comes up with very simple questions. For instance, the documentation. As a Swiss-German company, do we start with German documentation? No. We are forced to do everything in English. We have English writers, native US people employed, and if you want to address an international market, and a security product needs to address an international market. We are not developing a product for the Swiss-German market, or for the Austrian market, or for the European market. We are talking about an international market, and therefore you have to think about your resources. We cannot afford to create all our documents and the website in 20 different languages. It's a very simple thing, but this forces you to think about very precisely and to analyze what are the market opportunities. And in our case, for the MyBioID service, we did this analysis about the internet market. The largest group of internet users today are, guess? Chinese, yeah. But only in terms of users. If you analyze who is speaking which language, then you figure out that the majority of internet users are talking English. English is the dominant language in the internet. So if I create my products in the first step in English, with English documentation, with an English support, English-speaking support, then I'm addressing the majority of the market. And in the second place, I can then, if I'm successful in this market, then I can address other markets with other languages. That's a pretty easy thing you can do, and it's very effective because we are addressing now web and cloud service providers. We are very successful in this. Our service, the web and cloud service companies love it because it fits to their business model. Most of them are selling services, and they can combine their service with ours. And it's a perfect fit. And this gives us the confidence to be very successful in this space.
No more questions?